Hi everybody, thanks for joining me today for our snap session on the All Chapter Officers work group. Hope everybody is having a great day. For our session today, I will actually be signed into the circle. I'm providing that link to you in the chat log right now. If it's easier for you to follow along on your own browser, please feel free to open up the circle.nursingsociety.org or click directly on the link that has now been located into your chat log. When you open up the circle, you will sign in using the button in the upper right corner of the screen. So you'll notice that I am already signed in because I can see my picture up there. You can sign in using your email address on file with STTI, as well as your STTI password. If you do not remember what that is, your 7-digit member number will work to get you into the site. Your chapter actually designates you as a chapter leader within the management system, and that is what gives you access to the All Chapter Officers work group. So the fastest way to access the group from the circle is to click on Groups and then My Groups from the purple toolbar, and then select All Chapter Officers, which should be right near the top because these are listed alphabetically. So what we're going to do is just take a quick tour through this group, see if you have any questions about the circle and how to utilize this work group to be the most effective chapter leader. Scrolling down, I wanted to point out that the announcements will always contain some links and items of importance to you as of right now. There will always be a link to the management system. So as I mentioned, your chapter is responsible for ensuring that your chapter leader roster is up to date. This is also where you will be asked to submit items to STTI, such as your STTI Connect news, your bylaws, your chapter annual report. This is where you'll access the online induction system and the print-on-demand system, and where you can pull reports for your membership. Next down, you'll notice that the 2016 to 2017 Certificate of Insurance link has been posted here where you can request a copy. This item will change depending on what is most important and what announcements we have from STTI for your chapter. So it's a good idea to check this out periodically to see the announcements that are live and most recent for you. And then there will always be a link to the consultation request form. If there's something that you would like to meet one-on-one with STTI staff related to your chapter, you'll fill out this form with the dates and times that work for you. So it might be that you need one-on-one assistance, or you need a tour of the online induction system or your chapter website, or maybe you need help with strategic planning or recruitment. Any of those chapter-related topics, please feel free to fill out this form and we'll match you up with the appropriate staff person to meet your needs. I'm going to scroll back up. I personally find it easiest to navigate the system using these purple tabs near the top of the page. You can also, if it's easier for you, scroll through those same items, but you'll notice it only lists about 3 to 5 of those, so it might be easiest to see all of the content by clicking on these purple tabs. So I'll start with the discussions here. Anything posted in the discussion forum of the All Chapter Officers work group does deliver to all STTI chapter leaders. So there's about 5,000 individuals. So it is not just the leaders of your chapter. It is all chapter leaders in the organization. If there's something that you are looking for a sample or an example, you want to know what other chapters do, or you want to share a success of something that you are proud of, we'd love to hear about that. Please post those in the discussion forum. You can do that by clicking Post New Message on the right-hand side. When you put in your subject line, you can then move on to the next step. This white box here is completely open for you to type in your question or type in your lesson learned or to share a newsletter or something that you are particularly proud of here within this white box. You'll notice that there is a toolbar near the top of the white box that will allow you to bold and to format the text how you see appropriate. So if you would like to add a bulleted list, you can also include images and hyperlinks. Or near the bottom of the white box, there is a button that says Attach that will allow you to save an attachment into the library of the All Chapter Officers Workgroup and attach it to that particular discussion. So again, if you're sharing an example of something that you've done and you want to make it available to other chapters to save them some time, you can attach it directly to that discussion. I'm going to cancel out of this so I don't send a message to everybody here. And it will take you right back to our discussion page. Feel free to read through some of the recent discussions. Maybe there is something that will answer a question that you have. If it's been more than a few months and you don't see anything similar posted, please feel free to post a new message to bring that conversation up or to comment on any of the existing discussions. Now, the library is probably one of the greatest assets for you as a chapter leader. You can see that there are more than 300 items within the library, and they are segmented into these folders that you see scrolling down the left side. I'll zoom in a little bit more so you can see those folders. They are listed alphabetically, starting with the bylaws. So you can see here the 2015 to 2017 chapter bylaws, as well as how to use the bylaw submission form. So that is more instruction for you in a little recorded tutorial from YouTube. There are a lot of by position resources. So really this is going to rely on you understanding what is required of your position according to the bylaws to find some of the items that you might be responsible for. So just as an example, our very first folder there is for the counselor who is, according to the bylaws, responsible for the induction process. So the counselors folder has the induction script and slides. We do ask that your chapter download a copy for every induction that you have to make sure that you have the most recent information that you're sharing with your candidates and their families. All of the eligibility information, some helpful samples that chapters have shared within the forum are posted here, as well as some inductee messages. There's one here to send before your invitation to kind of give your candidates a heads up and a congratulations, let them know some of the expectations and how they can accept that invitation that will come from you, as well as information on the online induction system, which if you are a new counselor, you will have known that we have just unveiled a brand new induction system, and we are asking everyone to go through training before using that system because it is brand new. And then really you can click through any of these position resources. So maybe you're not the webmaster, but you've agreed to help with the chapter website and putting up some content. All of that is going to be in the webmasters folder. So again, some PowerPoint presentations and recorded tutorials, as well as how to engage your members on the website. There are also some resources for chapter anniversaries in the chapter annual report. There is a samples and templates folder, which is then categorized into technology, survey samples, notifications and letters, newsletters. Again, maybe it's not a question that you have, but if you have developed something within your chapter that you are willing to share and allow other chapters to copy and paste that information, please feel free to come into any of these folders. When you have the folder selected that you would like to add to, click New on the right side under Folder Contents, and you will be adding to that particular folder. I also wanted to point out some of the collateral contained within SPARK, which is the Society Pride and Awareness Recruitment Kit. This has a lot of promotional materials that your chapter might find helpful in creating awareness about the organization as well as your chapter. There is a document that tells you how to use and display the posters that are contained here, as well as the brochures and flyers. And then there are some flyers that you can print off about the circle, about STTI's mission and vision, and Career Central. There are some event posters that you can actually type right on top of and put in your event information, and then just print those off wherever you're located. There are some additional posters that were mailed to each chapter, but if you want to print more locally, those chapters or those posters are located here for you to print. So you can see there are really a lot of pieces here to take advantage of to create awareness for your chapter. Then we also have the sustainability pyramid, which is more by topic. So you can see strategic planning, for example. There's a strategic planning guide if that's something that you need help with, or if you need help with your communications. We do have the STTI logo here. We have the color palette and the style guide to help with your communications. Because there are so many items here, one thing that was added that will be helpful, up near the top of the library is a search box, and it will allow you to search just the contents of this particular library. So if you're looking for something specifically, you can't remember which folder it might be in, you can search for that item. I'll just type in STTI poster here. Previously, it would actually require you to type it into the circle search bar up at the top of the page, and that was searching the entire circle, whereas this is actually just searching that particular library. So you can see here, because I used the word STTI, it's pulling up everything with STTI and or poster. So you might refine your search a little bit more to find the item that you're looking for, instead of having to scroll through every folder. Going back up to the top of our group, the next button is for events. This includes webcasts such as today's, as well as any in-person events such as Leadership Connection coming up in just a few days, as well as dates and deadlines of importance to each chapter. So you can see here the September chapter checks are mailing to treasurers at the end of the month. All of these dates and information are shared in each chapter leader's issue of Leader Lines, which is delivered the first Friday of the month. And it's segmenting the news by position. So what the president sees is going to be different for what the counselor sees or the treasurer. So based on your position, you will see the news that pertains to you. And the All Chapter Officers Workgroup is really where you can go to see the news for everybody. So if you are having to help out the treasurer for a couple of weeks, or the president, or you've offered to start a new committee, all of the information for each position is going to be within the All Chapter Officers Workgroup. So really it's a good idea to come here every so often, look through the items that are coming up. If you are the president, then you can follow up with the treasurer because you know when that check is mailing. Or you can follow up with the treasurer about the IRS Form 990 that you see is due for chapters in the United States on November 15th. And then if you wanted to look for a particular chapter leader and network with them in any way, you are welcome to click on the Members tab. You can see there are more than 5,000 chapter leaders. So it might be easier to search for them using those boxes that appear at the top if you're looking for someone specifically. And from there you can go and send that person a message or add them as a contact to connect with you in the site. I'll go back to our home page now, which leaves us with plenty of time for questions. If you do have any questions about the All Chapter Officers Workgroup, please feel free to type those into the question log of your control panel or raise your hand to request that your line be unmuted. I'd be happy to answer those at this time. While you're thinking about your questions, I would also encourage you after you exit the system to fill out the survey that will appear. Let us know what other webcast topics or training topics you might like to see in the future. We do use those recommendations to plan out our webcasts coming up, both the full hour times and the snap sessions, which will always be 30 minutes or less. All right, we've had a request to repeat how to get into the All Chapter Officers Workgroup. So we started at the circle, which is the circle.nursingsociety.org in your browser. Click on Groups and then My Groups, and that is where you will find the All Chapter Officers Workgroup. If you do not see it listed there, it means that your chapter has not designated you as a current leader for the chapter. So you'll want to follow up with someone at your chapter to make sure that they put you into their chapter management system to give you access to the group. Within your My Groups area, you will also find your chapter website link, as well as your Regional Officer Connect group, and any other groups that you have joined. So I have personally joined all of our communities of interest in different topical areas, as well as the Global Member Forum. So I have several groups listed here. You would have, as a chapter leader, at least 3, and then depending on your involvement with the organization, you could have many more. Thanks for your question. I will stay on the line for a few more minutes. If you have any other questions related to the circle, I'd be happy to answer those now as well. They don't have to specifically be related to the All Chapter Officers Workgroup. So thank you all so much for your time today. and I hope you enjoy the rest of your day.